What if you were shown the truth about the afterlife? One that could shake the foundation of everything you believe. Vasim, an ordinary man, is about to face the unimaginable. In a near-death experience, he is thrust into a realm of darkness, meeting none other than the Prophet Muhammad in a place no one expects. But this is just the beginning. As he's pulled back from the edge, he's given a chilling message from Allah about the future of his community, and the weight of his mission becomes clear. What would you do if you carried the fate of your people on your shoulders? Would you have the strength to guide them to salvation, or watch the world crumble as you stand alone with the truth? The revelations are intense, the stakes higher than ever, and Vasim's journey is one you can't afford to miss. What will he do with the warnings he's been given? Stay with us to find out. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. If this story has impressed you, there's so much more to come. Stories that challenge, inspire, and captivate. Hit the like button if you're ready for more revelations. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to share this story with others. Together, we can spread these powerful messages and explore the mysteries that lie beyond. So subscribe now and join us on this thrilling adventure. Vasim was born and raised in a quiet town near the outskirts of Dearborn, Michigan, where his family had settled after emigrating from the Middle East. Dearborn, with its large Muslim community, was a place where his parents felt at home while still adjusting to the American way of life. For Vasim, the house he grew up in was a world deeply rooted in Islamic traditions. His parents, both devout Muslims, made sure that faith was central to their lives. From an early age, Vasim was taught the importance of prayer, discipline, and respect for others, all anchored in their devotion to Allah. Every day began with the melodic call to prayer. The sound filled their home, as did the scent of home-cooked meals seasoned with love and tradition. His parents would often remind him that Allah was always watching, guiding every action, and holding everyone accountable. Their words, "Everything you do, Vasim, Allah sees," echoed through his childhood, shaping his beliefs and values. He attended the local mosque with his father, memorized Quranic verses, and learned the importance of giving back to the community, living a life of honesty and kindness. However, outside his home, Vasim encountered a very different world. Growing up in America came with its own challenges. The kids at his school were not bound by the same religious rules. They wore what they liked, spoke freely about their relationships, and lived by their own set of rules. Vasim couldn't help but notice how different their lives were from his own. While he was proud of his faith, this contrast made him feel a constant tug between the traditions his parents cherished and the modern world around him. He respected his peers, but found it hard to reconcile their way of life with the values instilled in him. As Vasim entered his teenage years, this cultural tension grew stronger. His parents held firm to their expectations, that he remain devout, stay away from bad influences, and build a future centered on faith. But the American culture surrounding him promised a life of independence, success, and material rewards. It wasn't easy for Vasim to balance these two worlds. At home, he was the dutiful son. But at school, he sometimes felt like an outsider, caught between two identities. Even as he struggled with these internal conflicts, Vasim began to experience strange dreams. Dreams that felt like more than just nighttime visions. In some, he found himself standing at the edge of a deep, dark chasm, where faceless figures seemed to writhe in agony. Other dreams were filled with a bright, overwhelming light that made him feel small but strangely comforted, as if some unseen force was watching over him. These dreams, though unsettling, stayed with him, leaving him wondering if they were signs of something greater. He never mentioned them to his parents, but they lingered in his mind long after he woke. During this time, Vasim grew close to a girl named Tanjima. They had been friends since childhood, attending the same mosque and community events, but it wasn't until they were teenagers that their bond deepened. Tanjima understood Vasim in a way no one else did. She too felt the same pressures, trying to stay true to her Muslim upbringing while navigating life in America. She was always full of life, encouraging him to enjoy the little moments despite the weight of their responsibilities. Her warmth was something Vasim had come to depend on. As they spent more time together, Vasim found himself falling for her. Tanjima was more than just a friend. She was his confidant, his anchor. She had an energy that made him feel at peace, even when life felt overwhelming. Whether they were sitting by the lake or talking about their futures, there was a connection between them that Vasim couldn't deny. Though they hadn't spoken about it, Vasim felt that Tanjima would be a part of his future. She often joked, "One day you'll do something important, Vasim. I can just feel it." And while they laughed about it, those words planted a seed in his mind. Unfamiliar to them, this was the beginning of something much bigger than either could imagine. There were subtle signs in their lives, his dreams, the tension he felt, and the deepening bond with Tanjima that hinted at the incredible journey ahead. These early chapters in Vasim's life were just setting the stage for what was to come, a future filled with revelations, tests of faith, and an encounter that would shake everything he believed in. The shadows of his near-death experience were already creeping into his life, even if he didn't know it yet. Soon, the balance of his world would shift, and nothing would ever be the same again. As the days grew warmer in their small town near Dearborn, Michigan, the bond between Vasim and Tanjima blossomed into something beautifully complex. What had started as a close friendship now ripened into a deep and heartfelt connection. Their shared moments, once lighthearted and casual, now carried a height of deeper meaning. Every conversation seemed to resonate with a new intensity, every touch and glance imbued with an unspoken promise of something more. Their relationship was like a delicate flower slowly unfurling in the sun, its beauty revealed with each passing day. They spent countless hours together, their time marked by laughter and meaningful talks. Their favorite spot became the tranquil lake near their neighborhood, where they could escape the prying eyes of the world. Under the gentle sway of the trees and the soft lapping of the water, they felt free to explore their feelings, to dream about their future without restraint. Yet, their growing affection was not without its challenges. For Vasim, balancing his deep-rooted Islamic values with his feelings for Tanjima was no easy task. His parents had always envisioned him marrying someone from a family with similar traditions and values. The thought of introducing Tanjima as more than just a friend was both thrilling and daunting. He understood that any step towards a serious relationship would need to navigate carefully around his family's expectations and cultural norms. Tanjima, too, felt the weight of these expectations. She was acutely aware of the cultural and religious norms that governed their lives. Despite her deep love for Vasim, she knew that their relationship needed to be handled with respect and caution. Their discussions about their future were often laced with a careful consideration of how their relationship fit within the bounds of tradition. They knew that pursuing their love would require navigating a path that respected both their faith and their feelings. Their relationship was a testament to their ability to adapt and grow amidst these constraints. They learned to cherish the moments they had together, finding solace in their shared experiences. Yet, the strain of balancing their love with their cultural and religious commitments began to weigh heavily on Vasim. He found himself torn between his love for Tanjima and his responsibilities to his family and faith. The pressure of maintaining this balance was a constant source of conflict, and he often sought consolation in prayer, hoping for guidance and clarity. Tanjima, too, grappled with her own doubts. The love she felt for Vasim was unwavering, but she could not ignore the potential complications that lay ahead. She often reflected on the challenges they might face and worried about how they would navigate their future together. Despite these concerns, she remained a steadfast source of support for Vasim, offering encouragement and comfort during his moments of uncertainty. As their relationship deepened, subtle signs of change began to surface. Vasim's dreams grew more vivid and unsettling, filled with imagery that seemed to foreshadow a major shift. These dreams were like cryptic messages, hinting at a significant change on the horizon. Vasim would wake from these dreams feeling a sense of unease, a feeling that something profound was approaching. He shared these feelings with Tanjima, who listened with a mix of concern and curiosity. Their conversations about the future took on a sense of anticipation, as if they were standing on the brink of a life-altering moment. The love they shared was genuine and profound, but it was also marked by an underlying tension. The seeds of change were being sown, and the journey they were on seemed poised to bring new revelations and challenges. For now, Vasim and Tanjima continued to find joy and solace in their time together. Their love provided a beacon of light in the midst of uncertainty, offering them comfort as they faced the complexities of their situation. As they looked to the future, it was clear that their story was part of a larger narrative, one that would soon unfold with new insights and transformative experiences. The path ahead promised to be both challenging and enlightening as they navigated the twists and turns of their intertwined destinies. In the peaceful suburb of Dearborn, Michigan, Vasim found himself caught in a whirlwind of doubt and reflection. The clash between his long-held Islamic beliefs and the modern world around him began to shake the very foundation of his faith. As he wrestled with this internal conflict, the clarity he once felt in his religious convictions seemed increasingly elusive. Vasim's doubts began subtly. He noticed how the traditional values of his upbringing clashed with the fast-paced modern world he lived in. As he observed the changes around him, he questioned whether the teachings he had always embraced were still relevant. This internal struggle was like a quiet storm brewing, gradually eroding the certainty he had relied on for so long. The storm of doubt turned into a full-blown tempest when tragedy struck. His father, who had always been his rock and source of wisdom, fell seriously ill. The suddenness of his father's condition left Vasim feeling helpless and overwhelmed. The man who had guided him through life now lay frail and vulnerable, and Vasim found himself facing a crisis of faith with a new intensity. In the midst of this family crisis, Vasim sought refuge in his prayers. The mosque, once a routine part of his life, became his sanctuary. He began attending more frequently, his prayers growing more fervent and desperate. Each visit was marked by a deep sense of longing and a search for answers. The mosque, with its calming atmosphere and rhythmic prayers, became a place where Vasim poured out his heart, hoping for divine intervention. The shift in Vasim's devotion did not go unnoticed. His increased presence at the mosque drew mixed reactions from those around him. While some saw it as a positive sign of renewed faith, others worried that his intensified prayers were driven by despair rather than genuine spiritual growth. This tension created an undercurrent of stress in Vasim's life, adding to his emotional burden. As Vasim's prayers became more urgent, the air around him seemed to grow thick with anticipation. The mosque, once a place of routine, now felt like a stage set for something significant. The intensity of his devotion was palpable, and it seemed as if the very universe was holding its breath, waiting for a major shift to occur. In the midst of this growing tension, subtle hints of what was to come began to appear. Vasim's dreams took on a more vivid and unsettling quality. He experienced visions of dark, shifting shadows and distant, haunting voices. These dreams left him with a sense of unease and a feeling that something profound was on the horizon, though the specifics remained unclear. One evening, as Vasim walked home from the mosque, he had a strange encounter. An elderly man appeared seemingly out of nowhere and spoke in cryptic phrases about faith and perseverance. The man's words were enigmatic yet compelling, leaving Vasim with a lingering sense of curiosity and apprehension. This encounter felt like a sign, a hint at the deeper journey that lay ahead. As the days went by, Vasim noticed odd coincidences and patterns in his life. Objects seemed to shift subtly, and conversations with friends and family often echoed his inner questions. It was as if the world was aligning itself to guide him towards a significant revelation. Yet, the nature of this guidance remained shrouded in mystery, adding to the suspense that surrounded him. Conversations with Tanjima, who continued to support him, grew more intense. Her concern for Vasim was evident, and their discussions often centered on his spiritual struggle. Tanjima's encouragement was heartfelt, but her own anxiety was clear, creating a backdrop of tension in their relationship. As Vasim's crisis of faith reached its peak, the sense of impending change became almost tangible. His heightened state of devotion and the growing tension in his life set the stage for a momentous event. Every prayer, every moment of reflection seemed to bring him closer to a revelation that would challenge his beliefs and transform his understanding of life and faith. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of expectation. The subtle hints, cryptic encounters, and shifting patterns in Vasim's life all pointed towards a profound and possibly unsettling truth. The world seemed to be preparing him for a dramatic and life-changing experience, one that would confront his beliefs and alter his perspective in ways he could not yet foresee. The stage was set for an event that would profoundly affect Vasim's journey, marking a turning point in his quest for understanding and faith. In the serene setting of Dearborn's Mosque, Vasim was deeply immersed in prayer, his heart seeking solace and connection with Allah. The soft murmur of recitations filled the air, providing a comforting backdrop to his spiritual focus. But suddenly, this tranquility was shattered. Vasim felt a wave of dizziness overwhelm him, and as his vision darkened, he collapsed, his body falling heavily onto the cool, hard floor of the mosque. When Vasim regained consciousness, he was no longer in the peaceful sanctuary of the mosque. Instead, he found himself in a nightmarish alien realm. The once familiar surroundings were replaced by a desolate wasteland, scorched and barren. The ground beneath him was cracked and blistering, and the air was thick with a suffocating heat. The sky above was an oppressive, murky gray, casting an ominous pall over the entire landscape. Panic surged through Vasim as he tried to make sense of his new environment. The heat was unbearable, and every breath felt like inhaling fire. Shadows twisted and writhed in the distance, adding to the surreal horror of the scene. He stumbled through the scorched terrain, his heart racing with fear and confusion. In the midst of this desolation, Vasim saw a figure standing amidst the chaos. The sight was both shocking and deeply unsettling. It was Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam. Despite the terrifying surroundings, Muhammad's presence was calm and authoritative. Seeing such a revered figure in this dreadful place was both awe-inspiring and profoundly disturbing. Muhammad stood with a serene yet sorrowful demeanor, his presence both commanding and compassionate. As Vasim approached, trembling with a mix of fear and disbelief, Muhammad began to speak. "You have been brought here," Muhammad's voice resonated with a solemn gravity, "to witness the consequences of straying from the true path." The words were like a sharp blade, cutting through Vasim's confusion and laying bare the severity of his situation. The Prophet's voice carried the weight of divine authority, and each word seemed to echo through the infernal realm. Muhammad continued, "Your path has led you here not because of a single misstep, but due to a series of deviations from the righteous way." Vasim's heart sank as he processed the gravity of these words. The realization of his spiritual failures was overwhelming, and the weight of guilt and remorse pressed heavily on him. The infernal landscape around him was a vivid representation of these consequences. Vasim saw souls trapped in various forms of torment, their suffering a stark reminder of the price of deviating from the divine path. The cries of despair filled the air, mingling with the oppressive heat and stench. The scene was both horrifying and enlightening, a stark illustration of the spiritual repercussions of failing to adhere to the faith. To underscore the gravity of Muhammad's message, the atmosphere seemed to resonate with verses from the Quran. "Indeed, those who disbelieve and die while they are disbelievers, upon them will be the curse of Allah and of the angels and of mankind, all together," echoed around them. These verses added a layer of scriptural authority to the already intense experience, reinforcing the message with divine weight. Despite the overwhelming horror, Muhammad's presence was a beacon of both judgment and hope. "This journey is not yet over," the Prophet said, his tone a blend of solemnity and compassion. "You must confront the truth of your actions and seek redemption." The promise of further revelation and the challenge of seeking redemption loomed large. Muhammad's words left Vasim with a profound sense of both dread and hope. As Muhammad's message concluded, the nightmarish landscape began to shift and blur. The oppressive heat and the stench of sulfur started to recede, and the scenes of torment faded into a distant haze. Vasim felt as if he were being lifted from the depths of this infernal realm, his surroundings dissolving into a fog of disorientation. In this moment of transition, Vasim was overwhelmed by a mix of relief and apprehension. The encounter with Muhammad had been a profound and unsettling experience, and the reality of his situation was slowly sinking in. The terrifying vision of hell had left an indelible mark on his soul, and the promise of a journey that was far from over filled him with both fear and determination. The segment ended with Vasim suspended between two worlds, the nightmarish realm of hell and the familiar reality of his life. The suspense was palpable as the audience was left to ponder the significance of Vasim's experience and the challenges that lay ahead. The shocking NDE had not only revealed the dire consequences of spiritual failure, but also set the stage for Vasim's quest for redemption and understanding. The tension and anticipation continued to build, leaving the audience eager to follow Vasim's journey as he navigated the profound revelations and challenges that awaited him. After the harrowing ordeal in hell, Vasim felt an immense force lifting him away from the fiery depths. The transition was both swift and transformative. The suffocating heat and unbearable stench of hell began to dissolve, replaced by a wave of serene light that enveloped him completely. As the nightmarish landscape receded, Vasim was pulled into a realm of ethereal calm, far removed from the chaos he had just escaped. He emerged into a realm of profound tranquility. The sky above was a breathtaking expanse of soft, soothing light, and the air was crisp and invigorating. Everything around him seemed to sparkle with a divine radiance, creating an atmosphere of unparalleled peace and purity. It was a place of serene beauty that contrasted starkly with the torment he had just witnessed. In this celestial realm, Vasim found himself in the presence of Allah. The experience was overwhelming in its majesty. Allah's presence was not only visible but deeply felt. radiating a sense of boundless compassion and infinite wisdom. The contrast between the serene divine presence and the horrors of hell could not have been more pronounced. Allah's voice filled the space, resonating with a blend of warmth and authority. "Welcome, Wasim," the divine voice said, rich with gentle reassurance and profound wisdom. "You have traversed the trials of hell to receive a message of great significance." As Wasim absorbed the divine presence, Allah began to impart a series of profound revelations. The first message centered on the interconnectedness of all souls. "Every soul is a part of a greater whole," Allah explained, his voice echoing with deep understanding. "The bonds that connect individuals extend beyond this earthly life and into the afterlife. Recognizing and nurturing these connections is crucial for spiritual growth and harmony." This revelation struck Wasim deeply. He felt a newfound sense of unity with all of creation, as if he were part of a vast, intricate tapestry. The realization of this spiritual connection was both humbling and uplifting, offering him a fresh perspective on his role in the world. The conversation then shifted to the importance of community. Allah spoke with a tone that was both gentle and firm, emphasizing the strength that comes from unity. "The Muslim community," Allah said, "is like a single body. Its strength and resilience come from its ability to support and uplift one another. In times of challenge and change, it is this unity that will guide and sustain you." Allah's message about community resonated deeply with Wasim. He understood that the true strength of the Ummah lay in its solidarity and mutual support. The divine words underscored the importance of working together and remaining steadfast in faith, even when faced with adversity. The revelation also touched on the future of the Muslim world. Allah spoke with a sense of hope and urgency. "The future will bring both trials and triumphs," Allah said. "It is essential that you remain committed to your faith and work diligently for the betterment of your community. Your actions will have a significant impact on the path that lies ahead for the Ummah." As Allah spoke, Wasim felt a deep sense of responsibility and determination. The divine insight into the future of the Muslim world was both sobering and inspiring. It highlighted the crucial role that each individual plays in shaping the collective destiny of the community. Despite the clarity of these messages, Allah's words left some elements shrouded in mystery, adding an element of suspense and anticipation. "There are still things you must witness," Allah said, his tone filled with both intrigue and promise. "Your journey is far from over. Prepare yourself to receive further wisdom and insight." As Allah's voice faded, Wasim was left with a profound sense of awe and contemplation. The divine encounter had provided him with deep insights into the nature of existence, the importance of unity, and the future challenges facing the Muslim world. The transition from the celestial realm back to his earthly existence was imminent, and Wasim carried with him a deep sense of purpose and resolve. With Wasim preparing to return to his reality, the divine messages resonating in his mind. The serene divine presence had offered him profound guidance and clarity, creating a powerful narrative shift. The contrast between the celestial calm and the fiery chaos of hell emphasized the magnitude of the revelations Wasim had received. With a sense of anticipation, eager to see how Wasim would navigate the profound insights and challenges that lay ahead. The suspense remained high as the story continued to unfold, promising further revelations and spiritual growth to come. As the divine light that had enveloped Wasim began to fade, he was abruptly pulled back to the physical world. He blinked awake on the cool, hard floor of the mosque, surrounded by a flurry of anxious faces. The comforting glow of the celestial realm had vanished, replaced by the harsh artificial light of the mosque and the worried murmurs of his family and friends. Wasim's head spun as he tried to grasp the enormity of what had just happened. His family's faces were a mix of relief and confusion, their voices filled with concern as they spoke of calling an ambulance and the shock of finding him collapsed. Although they were worried about his physical state, Wasim's mind was far removed from their concerns. He had been profoundly changed by his encounter with Allah, and he knew with unwavering certainty that his life's purpose had shifted dramatically. The transition from the divine serenity to the reality of the mosque was stark. The radiant peace he had felt in Allah's presence was replaced by the bright, sterile lights of the mosque and the hum of everyday life. Wasim felt as though he had been yanked from one world to another, each so different from the other that it was hard to believe they were part of the same existence. He lay there, trying to reconnect with the physical world, while the deep sense of purpose and transformation he had gained from his divine encounter continued to resonate within him. In the days that followed, Wasim began to see the world through a new lens. Everything seemed to carry a new significance. Ordinary events took on a deeper meaning, and interactions with people felt more profound. The message Allah had imparted to him felt like a guiding star, shaping his every thought and action. Wasim was filled with a powerful sense of duty to live in accordance with the spiritual insights he had been given. He started to gently influence those around him, guiding conversations and actions towards righteousness without being overt. Instead of preaching, Wasim chose to embody the values he had learned. His actions and words subtly encouraged others to embrace compassion, unity, and spiritual growth. It was as if he was quietly guiding his community towards a higher state of awareness and harmony. At the same time, Wasim's relationship with Tanjima blossomed. Their bond, once marked by youthful affection, deepened into a serious, loving commitment. They eagerly anticipated their future together, their love providing solace and strength. As they prepared for their wedding, their relationship was a source of joy and hope. However, Wasim's profound experiences had left him with lingering repercussions. He began to have vivid and unsettling dreams, fragments of the divine revelations he had received. These dreams were a mix of clarity and confusion, filled with cryptic symbols and fleeting glimpses of the divine messages. Each night, Wasim would wake with a sense of unease and curiosity, as if he were on the edge of a deeper understanding yet to be revealed. The dreams left Wasim feeling both intrigued and troubled. They hinted at unresolved aspects of his spiritual journey, suggesting that his path was far from complete. The suspense of his nightly visions added a layer of mystery to his daily life. He was constantly on edge, anticipating what further revelations might come his way. Tanjima noticed the change in Wasim. She saw how his dreams seemed to preoccupy him, how he appeared lost in thought. Though supportive, she struggled to fully understand the depth of his experiences and the weight of his spiritual quest. Their growing relationship was marked by love, but also by an undercurrent of suspense. The haunting visions created a sense of uncertainty about their future together. As they moved forward with their wedding plans, the tension in their relationship grew. The excitement of their impending future was tinged with the unresolved mysteries of Wasim's visions. Everyone could feel the suspense building, aware that Wasim's journey was far from over. With Wasim standing at a crossroads, his life forever altered. He was filled with both hope and apprehension, his heart and mind burdened with the revelations and dreams that haunted him. Stay with the story to see how Wasim's journey would unfold. As the days and nights blended seamlessly, Wasim found himself caught in a whirlwind of intense dreams. Each night, he was transported to a realm where the future of his community and the world unfolded before him in a series of vivid and sometimes unsettling visions. These dreams were both mesmerizing and disturbing, offering a complex glimpse into what might lie ahead. In these dreams, Wasim saw two contrasting futures. On one side, he envisioned a world brimming with hope and unity. He saw his community thriving, working together harmoniously and celebrating shared successes. This vision was bathed in light and filled with a sense of joy and fulfillment, symbolizing the potential for a bright and prosperous future. However, these uplifting scenes were countered by darker visions. Wasim also glimpsed a future marred by chaos and destruction. He saw cities engulfed in conflict, communities fractured by division, and a world struggling under the weight of turmoil. These visions were stark and jarring, a reminder of the delicate balance between peace and discord. The contrast between hope and despair was striking, stirring a deep sense of urgency within Wasim. The tension surrounding Wasim's revelations grew palpable. He understood that something momentous was approaching for the Muslim community, but the specifics remained unclear. This sense of impending change created a gripping suspense, keeping both Wasim and his audience on edge, eager to learn more about what the future held and how they might influence it. In search of clarity, Wasim turned increasingly to the Quran. The sacred text became his guiding light, offering solace and direction as he tried to make sense of his dreams. The Quran's verses helped him decode the messages he received and provided a framework for his understanding. As he delved deeper into the Quran, Wasim began to share its wisdom with those around him. He incorporated relevant verses into his conversations, subtly guiding others with the insights he gained. His approach was both gentle and profound, aiming to inspire and uplift without being overbearing. He spoke of unity, compassion, and the importance of faith, using the Quran's teachings to encourage reflection and positive action within his community. The impact of Vasim's teachings was evident. People began to listen and reflect on the messages he shared. There was a growing sense of collective responsibility and a renewed focus on community values. Vasim's guidance fostered a spirit of unity and contemplation, helping prepare his community for the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. The suspense of Vasim's journey continued to build. The incomplete nature of his revelations and the uncertainty about the future kept us eagerly awaiting for the further part. The unresolved aspects of his visions and the anticipation of upcoming changes created a compelling narrative, drawing viewers in and keeping them hooked. As Vasim navigated this complex journey, he felt the toughness of his newfound understanding and the responsibility it carried. The dreams had offered glimpses of what could be, but the path forward remained uncertain. After his life-changing near-death experience, Vasim found himself taking on a role he had never imagined. The powerful revelations he had received during his ordeal pushed him into a leadership position within his Muslim community. He went from being an ordinary community member to someone with a strong sense of purpose and influence. Vasim's new role was not just about holding a position of authority, but about guiding his community with the wisdom he gained from his experience. He started organizing gatherings where people could come together to discuss and reflect on their faith. His messages were filled with sincerity and urgency, urging everyone to strengthen their commitment to their religious practices and values. At these gatherings, Vasim spoke with a deep passion and authenticity. He shared insights from his near-death experience, emphasizing the importance of unity and devotion. His speeches were not just about preaching, but about inspiring genuine change. Many people in the community began to take his words to heart, reflecting more deeply on their faith and how they could live better lives. Tanjima played a crucial role in this transformation. Beyond being Vasim's loving partner, she supported him in every possible way. While Vasim focused on the spiritual and inspirational aspects, Tanjima took care of practical matters and offered emotional support. Their partnership became a symbol of the unity and faith that Vasim talked about. Their love story was a powerful example of how faith and love can come together to create something meaningful. Even though Vasim was making a significant impact, he felt a growing sense of anticipation. His visions continued to become more intense, showing glimpses of the future that were both hopeful and alarming. This growing sense of suspense kept Vasim and his community on edge, eager to see what would come next. To make sense of his experiences and guide his leadership, Vasim turned to the Quran more often. He used its teachings to back up his messages and provide deeper insights. Referencing relevant verses from the Quran helped him connect more deeply with his audience and reinforce the importance of faith in their lives. The changes in the community were noticeable. People began to support one another more actively and strive to live according to the values Vasim promoted. There was a new sense of unity and purpose, and the teachings of Islam became more central to their daily lives. Despite these positive changes, Vasim still felt that something important was yet to come. His visions hinted at future events that were both exciting and troubling. This sense of anticipation kept everyone, including Vasim and his community, eagerly waiting for the next part of his journey. As Vasim continued in his leadership role, the suspense about his future revelations grew. The story of his transformation from a seeker of truth to a leader of faith was far from over, and the most crucial parts of his journey were still to come. As night descended, Vasim was enveloped by an intense vision. This time, the experience was even more powerful and immersive than before. The vision began in a deep, overwhelming darkness, a void that seemed to stretch endlessly. Slowly, this void began to clear, revealing a sprawling, complex tapestry. This tapestry was a vast network of interconnected souls, each glowing softly and entwined in an intricate dance of light and shadow. The vision then unfolded into two starkly contrasting futures. On one side, Vasim saw a world brimming with hope and unity. Communities came together, transcending their differences and embracing each other. Acts of kindness and cooperation painted a vivid picture of harmony. This world was vibrant, where every individual contributed to the collective good, creating a better future for all. The beauty of these scenes was almost otherworldly, filled with a serene light that was both enchanting and reassuring. But this hopeful vision was abruptly juxtaposed with scenes of chaos and destruction. Vasim saw cities consumed by conflict and division, torn apart by strife and misunderstanding. The earth itself seemed to reflect humanity's turmoil, with natural disasters and upheavals mirroring the internal struggles of its people. The contrast was jarring and sobering, highlighting the fragile balance between potential hope and imminent disaster. The vision took a shocking turn when Vasim saw how seemingly insignificant actions could lead to massive consequences. A single act of kindness or cruelty rippled outward, affecting countless lives and shaping the world in unpredictable ways. This realization underscored the profound impact of every choice, illustrating how even small deeds could either build or destroy. In the midst of this grand vision, Vasim found himself standing at the edge of a chasm, peering into a dark, fiery abyss. From within this abyss, he saw the faces of those who had strayed from the path of righteousness. Their suffering was palpable, their expressions a haunting reminder of the consequences of ignoring Allah's guidance. This portrayal of punishment was both disturbing and eye-opening, reinforcing the urgency of adhering to faith and living a righteous life. As Vasim observed the abyss, he noticed that it was not just a place of punishment, but also a crucible of transformation. Some of those in torment began to show signs of change, their suffering leading them to seek redemption and understanding. This unexpected development introduced a layer of hope amidst the despair, suggesting that even in the direst situations, there was room for change and forgiveness. Allah's presence appeared once more majestic and awe-inspiring than ever before. The divine voice spoke with a blend of compassion and authority, emphasizing the importance of unity and adherence to the teachings of the Quran. Allah warned Vasim that the Muslim community was at a pivotal moment. The vision had shown that their future depended on their ability to remain united and committed to their faith. If they failed to do so, the devastating future he had witnessed could become a reality. Allah's message was profound, yet left some elements shrouded in mystery. There were hints of future trials and challenges, but the specifics remained unclear. This added to the suspense as Vasim understood that the divine plan was still unfolding, and that he had more to uncover. The revelation was both a warning and a call to action, urging Vasim to take a more active role in guiding his community. Returning to the physical world, Vasim was overwhelmed by a renewed sense of purpose. His experiences had clarified his mission and deepened his commitment. He began to speak with urgency and passion, sharing his revelations and urging his community to stay faithful and united. His speeches were filled with references to his visions and divine messages, aiming to inspire and guide others. Despite his efforts, Vasim faced skepticism and resistance from some community members. His dramatic claims were met with doubt, leading to internal tensions and conflicts. Navigating these challenges added complexity to his mission. Through it all, Tanjima provided vital support, her unwavering faith and dedication reinforcing Vasim's resolve. Their relationship became a symbol of unity and faith, inspiring others around them. As Vasim continued his mission, his visions grew even more intense and frequent. They were filled with cryptic symbols and messages, hinting at further revelations to come. In one particularly striking vision, Vasim saw a mysterious figure guiding him through a labyrinth of light and shadow. This figure, though never fully revealed, seemed to hold the key to understanding the final pieces of the divine plan. The presence of this enigmatic guide added an element of intrigue and suspense to Vasim's journey. Tensions within the community reached a boiling point as differing interpretations of Vasim's message led to factional disputes. Some community members began to question the authenticity of his visions, while others fervently supported his cause. This growing discord further complicated Vasim's mission, making his task of uniting the community even more challenging. Amidst these trials, Vasim discovered a hidden truth in the Quran that seemed to offer a crucial piece of the puzzle. This revelation provided a new perspective on the interconnectedness of souls and the importance of individual and collective responsibility. However, the full implications of this discovery remained partially veiled, leaving room for further exploration. The story reached its climax as Vasim prepared for the next phase of his mission. The tension was palpable. Vasim was poised to confront the final challenges and unveil the ultimate truths of his journey. The narrative ended with a lingering sense of wonder and reflection, inviting us to ponder the weight of Vasim's message and the future that lay ahead for him and his community. As we come to the end of this story, remember, the journey is just beginning. If this has left you fascinated, with questions and thoughts lingering in your mind, don't hesitate to share your insights in the comments below. Make sure to hit the like button if this story resonated with you, and subscribe for more captivating content that dives deep into the mysteries of life, faith, and the unknown. And don't forget to share this video with others who would appreciate the message. Together, we can explore these profound stories and unravel the truths within. Stay tuned for more. Your next revelation might be just around the corner.